do 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 do. All right, let me check Twitch home um channel. Okay, and then I go to home and awesome. So I don't know. I think I wanted to get my thoughts out about car shops. Not really terribly great at working on cars, but um I'd I gained enough knowledge to work at a mom and pop's pop style car garage where I did I basically just did the standard lube change, oil lube filter, oil changes where people agree people people would bring their vehicles in for basic oil changes and maintenance, like greasing all the grease points in the of the engine, looking for leaks, making sure changing out the oil, checking the cabin filter, air filter, um, checking the tire for wear, dry rot, uh, looking for punctures if the air pressure ended up being around because standard pressure for car tires would be between what's that, I think 32 and 40 psi I guess for cars, and then at when you get to trucks with the bigger higher psi they would go up to around 80 psi, and that would some of the bigger work trucks would be I think 120, around 120 psi I think. But that you'd always look on the door for. But anyways, I do that and I look for shocks, looks at shocks, struts, look for anything that's broken and all. And I don't know. It so after about I started working in that family owned car garage 2000, it was 2012, and the shop shut down this year, early this year. So I have not applied for another job position, nor do I think I ever want to work in it. Um, the the pay was okay, um, but I think with the economy and everything else, for a family-run business that was struggling, it was horrible. The time to complete the vehicles, you know, because you wanted a fast. People would want to not wait too long for their oil changes, and to do all those checks take a lot of time, and it would get harder and harder to do newer vehicles. Even the stupid underpinning to plastic under the vehicle to get to like the oil pan to drain it would take forever. Some of those things have like 20 to 30 plastic clips that you have to remove to even get to the oil pan. That was never fun. Um, and then depending on the depending on the maker model, then you'd have special tools you'd had to use to even remove the opening to drain the oil. Um, some of the newer trucks vehicles had the plastic cap piece that you took off to drain the oil, and as soon as you as soon as you remove that piece, oil would gush out of it. Some of them had like a part of, like right below it would be part of the frame. So as soon as you open that up, oil would come gushing out, hit the frame, and splash the underside of the vehicle. And so then you have a big, large mess that you have to clean up because because of the design issues of it. So time is money. The longer it takes to do a vehicle, um, the more backup work that it take that you are with how many vehicles are in the shop. Um, you can only do one person can only do so many vehicles a day in a certain time frame, and for some things, it seems like the vehicles are getting more and more progressively hard to deal with. Like some vehicles, I couldn't even check the cabin filter because you completely have to dismantle the inside part of the dash. It seems like to even get to the cabin filter, and that seems like a design flaw in comparison to a something like a older Honda Civic where you just open the glove box, drop take just take off the little fastener that holds it in place and all, and then the glove the door there for the area for where the cabin filter is. You just open it up and it's right there in front of you. It's yeah, that's super stressful because when you get um a job that takes, you know, close to an hour or even more, around an hour, I would say, to even do the cabin filter, then um, you reach the point where it's like, well, why did I recommend this? Because at that point, you're losing money. Um, you're supposed, it's required and you're supposed to do it, but um, that's when being a small shop with less equipment available to you can hurt you. So, mm, and it goes to more things because then you have to have the right equipment for like say you do a brake job and on like the newer ones that have the electronic brake, like the brake release where you have to have the computer system to release the brakes to do the job. Well, we didn't have the at least the scanner that we had. It did not have the feature to release the brake like that, so you could work on it. There is a alternative workaround where you can actually use a battery and connect to the electronic brake system there to release it yourself, but it's not definitely not standard or not how you should do it. But yeah, when it comes to trying to work on vehicles and getting things done, if you don't have the proper tools to work on it, then you have to improvise. It's definitely not fun. So I begin to wonder about things. So moving forward, because a lot of these vehicles are, a lot of the current day vehicles are, they have a huge computerized system, and it's like the vehicles where where it monitors your emotional state or something, and won't let you drive if you're not in a good if you're not, if it doesn't look like you're mentally in the right state. Well, how do you work on those vehicles? Because I have no idea how you would work on them. Um, it's so it's like at a fast rate. It seems like it's becoming harder to work on. They break down more. They and then the parts for them are becoming more and more expensive. Like um, when I had to when I had to get the parts for different things based off of when I recommended, I would have to, because we had different suppliers that we went through depending on what we ordered. Like, say you needed shocks, we had four different places we could order from. So I would have to look up the cost price for it, like our cost price, the list price that the customer gets. That's after taxes and you know, because you have to make a profit when you're working at a business. Otherwise, why are you providing a service to begin with? You know, if you can't and at a certain point, if the costs exceed the money you're bringing in, then you're not. Then there's no. You shouldn't stay open because then you're just going to bleed money out until you're bankrupt, and that's not a good thing either. So so yeah. So uh, with all that, I know I wouldn't. I know I wouldn't go back to working on vehicles, even though I did more of the basic stuff. Um, but I mean, basics is still necessary because it's like when you bring your vehicle in for maintenance and stuff, you want everything getting checked out still, but you don't want to wait too long. But so now that I'm staying on the customer side of it because yeah, I'm never getting back into that mess again. Um, it's just interesting to think about. No, yeah, I would still work on my vehicle because I would rather save money. Some things you won't save because like the cost of oil and everything else, it's you're still um, after the cost. Are you actually coming out ahead with the time you waste doing the work yourself? I guess there's a up and down side to both of it. Um, some cases, if it's the right price, yeah, I would say just go ahead and let them do the oil change. If they're known to screw up a lot and make mistakes and mess up vehicles or anything, you might want to reconsider. Uh, but yeah, if you're in a car shop and it seems like the wait time for something that seems simple is taking a very long time with these newer vehicles and all, yeah, there's probably a very good reason for it. Or if you have an older vehicle where it should be something simple. Yeah, these vehicles rust. They get old. Parts break easily. So um, like even something as simple as um, like the air filter location or something. When the those clips and stuff that keep some of those together, they become very brittle and break easy. So either the customer has to well either the mechanic has to find some way to keep it closed, securely so that it's not creating some sort of air leak that would mess with how the vehicle runs, or the shop completely eats the cost and has to buy whole new parts for it. And there's definitely no saying for how available parts are. Um, so you could end up waiting a few days for the parts to come in, or you could be waiting a week even. Um, yeah, because if a shop in the area doesn't have it, yeah, then it has to be. Then you're probably waiting for it to come, on a truck, and that takes a while. I don't know. I don't know what else to think about with those, but I just thought it was a um, good time to just kind of think about it, because I know I have a big toolbox with all my tools that are just kind of sitting there wasting away, and my my uncle has me working on his truck, but I don't do much else with it. And then I see all these other videos talking about car shops and complaints and other stuff, or how bolts and stuff are in very tight spaces that's hard to get to now. And it's just, yeah, people get tired of it. People get tired of that. They get tired of um they get tired of the pay, or it's like it's not it's harder to be appreciated for that job. It's a lot of stress, and so you end up with a lot of mechanics and stuff that leave to other jobs to make more money, like either the air conditioning, or they go to bigger shops that work on like business vehicles and all. But the trouble being is, from what I'm hearing, those even those their vehicles are becoming more digitized and sophisticated and hard to work on. So to where I feel like that they're just making it difficult to where you have to take the vehicle into the dealership to work on, because they can afford to have customized tools to actually work on these, without it taking over an hour to do something that should be really simple. So that, in a nutshell, is my little slice of life experience with vehicles. I enjoy being on this side much more than that. The the stress is definitely gone from it. It was it was awful. I'd come home, I'd be a zombie most of the times. Everything would ache, everything would hurt. I don't know. Overworked, underpaid. Um, but I guess that goes for a lot of people, and even considering how terrible it is with the economy and people being out of work. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's better to be in a job that makes you completely miserable, or something like that, where you get you only get paid work based on the work done. Uh, yeah, that can be a struggle. Um, so that is my thoughts on that. So since I got it since I got it vocalized, I guess I never have to bring this topic up again. I think because I don't know. In some cases, you have to finalize or get your thoughts out one final time. Sometimes make a final thoughts about it. Um, and in this case, that's where I'm at because I would rather have a I mean, if it's not in a junkyard state, I would rather have an 80s or 90s vehicle because yeah, they run better. They should run better. They last longer. Um, they have fewer computerized points of failure, which there's no there's no telling what one point of failure in these big computerized vehicles can cause can potentially cause the whole thing to short out. Maybe I don't know. Um, I guess it depends on how bad it is, but I guess with the feet the I guess the bigger they'd probably have a bigger um where it's getting bigger and bigger. They probably have to have even more fuses to for the different points. I know some of them have fuses both under the hood and under the dash. So yeah, um, that is all I got on that. So thank you for if you lasted to the end. Thank you for listening to my rather short ramblings about rising costs. The the grumblings that they have for how they're put together, so it's harder to work on, and kind of the complaints of people who would never want to go back to it again. Because most of the other people that had left the shop I worked at, they loved cars, but they would never work on it as a business again. And that's rather unfortunate. So, but yeah, this is the next stream. This is Drackmas saying, have a good day. Research the vehicle that you buy. Make sure that it's not only that it's reliable, but that it is easier to maintain. Because if there are a lot of problems with it, or it has a history of, I guess, parts regularly needing to be replaced, then that's going to be a big problem down the road, especially if you're um, dealing with hard times and short on money. But this is Drackmas signing out. Have a good day. See ya.